customers kind of anticipate using in the future. And we're able to look out a year, 2 years, 3 years, and always be adding capacity, whether more capacity in current data centers, building new data centers, bringing on additional regions, data centers in new regions of the world, and so forth. So that kind of really routine scaling ability to handle growth is I think, a real core of what we're able to do extremely well. So these are kind of the things that we're trying to do for business. Really control the costs of IT. And a lot of companies' IT spending is almost out of control. They keep pouring more and more money into it, but they're not quite sure what they're getting for it. Let people focus on their core business rather than on IT. And sometimes I like to talk about how there's almost a 30-70 split. In a traditional company, you might spend 70% of your time on kind of the building your data centers, loading up with servers, power, cooling, cabling, networking, security. You just put 70% of your effort into that. You have to maybe about 30% left over for your unique aspect of the business. So that 70% is the same stuff that you and all your competition are all doing, effectively duplicated effort. So with the cloud, what you can actually do, you can kind of flip that around, put 30% of your time into building up your cloud-based infrastructure. 70% of your time can then actually be focused on your own unique value add of whatever you want to build in the cloud. So focus more on your core business, less on the routines of IT. And it also lets you be very, very nimble, pursue new opportunities, and not be held back or constrained by your IT department. I talk to a lot of big companies, and one thing that they always tell me is they say, we've got these great ideas, we have these new businesses that we could do, but we need resources from our IT department. We pick up the phone, we call them, we say, hey, this is Jeff, I need some new servers for my new project. And they say, wow, that sounds like a great project, we'll put you on the list, and with any luck you'll have your servers between like 3, maybe 6 months at best, and we'll call you back just as soon as they're ready. So that the IT has turned into this bottleneck, and it's really, really troubling companies where they've got these great ideas, and IT, instead of helping to accomplish goals, is actually effectively hindering them from their goals. And as a great example of how nimble you can be, one of our customers in the US runs online marketing campaigns. It's a big candy company. So they run these online marketing campaigns, and they actually run the campaign. They did this for about 6 months. They would run the campaign just 3 hours a week on Friday mornings. So for those 3 hours a week, they would spin up their resources in the cloud. They would do massive amounts of online marketing to drive customers to the site so they could sign up and get some coupons for some free candy. And so for those 3 hours a week, they're buying infrastructure in the cloud. They're using their cloud-based infrastructure. So they've got hundreds of thousands of people per hour visiting this site and using a lot of resources. At the end of that 3 hours per week, they shut it off, using no further resources until the next time that they decide to run that campaign. So in most organizations, if you need new resources like that, you need to go to IT, and IT says, that's great, we'll get you the resources, we'll put you in the budget, and then they're your resources dedicated to you full-time for the next 3 years, 5 years, based on the depreciation for that hardware. When you start saying, we want to do something for 3 hours a week for 3 months or 6 months, IT says that's just not our business. We don't know how to be flexible enough to meet your needs. And so you can't be as creative, you can't be as innovative, because you simply can't get those short-term resources. Or when you're doing those things, let's say you went through IT and you figure, okay, well, I need 5 servers, let's say. But you do the first couple of weeks and you say, wow, this is actually a big success. We could double our advertising spend, but we need 10 servers instead of 5. Well, you call up IT and they give you the same old story. Okay, hang on another couple of months, we'll get you these servers, and you're thinking, I'm missing this opportunity here, because I can definitely generate more traffic to my site, but I can't do it because I don't have the resources. The idea of the cloud is to say, forget about those resource limitations. I've got a supplier that's effectively this infinitely large data center, whatever I need, however much I need, for a long time, a short time, if my requirements change very, very quickly. The whole idea of the cloud is you can get those resources and you leave it to your cloud supplier. Hopefully you leave that to us. Leave that to your cloud supplier to deal with all those issues of, where do I get the resources? Do I have enough real estate? Have I provisioned enough bandwidth? Do we have enough power? Do we know how to make this all reliable? Is it properly secured? You can wash your hands of most of those things and really focus on your business. So I just kind of put a quick case study in here. I actually made this slide while I was just kind of waiting to come up here. But just one cool company, Playfish Games, based in London. We're going to visit them on Friday to learn a bit more about what they do. So these guys do online games. And so the online games that are built inside of a social network have tremendous growth. It's pretty cool that you can put a game online, and you put some viral features in the game so that as you're using it, you kind of reach out to the user's social network and invite them to join in the game as well. So they put in this game called Restaurant City, and their plan was they'd have anywhere between 100 and 250,000 users after the first couple of weeks. Well, it turned out this was a better than expected game, and they went from 0 to 4 million users in 8 weeks. So imagine what it's like for your business if you go up to 4 million users, and you think of the traditional case where you're scrounging for IT resources, you're borrowing servers, you're calling your friends, you're calling your IT department. Not a very pleasant situation to be in, and something I'd actually call a success disaster, where everybody wants to have this incredible exponential growth, but not everybody's actually prepared to deal with it when it does happen. And it doesn't happen many times in most careers. You get a couple chances to kind of deal with this rapid amount of traffic. And the whole idea of the cloud is you architect up front for scalability. There's no magic that's going to get you around the architectural phase. But you architect up front for scalability so that you know that as your needs grow, you can easily add new servers to your mix. And we make that easy by giving you things like automatic scaling and load balancers and other ways to distribute traffic. And you design up front for the scalability. You put the application online, and then either manually or automatically with the scaling tools that we give you, you can set up your application so as these users start pouring into your system, consuming additional resources, we'll just automatically put additional servers online for you and spread that load across those servers. So it goes from being this really scary kind of a thing where you're in the one sense anticipating and hoping for all this traffic. On the other side, you're thinking, what if all this traffic does come in? What do I actually do, and how do I actually deal with it? You can really focus on effectively the fun part of your business. Build the fun app, do the traffic generation, and then say, I know where all that infrastructure is coming from. I'll get that from the cloud. And if at any point your users say, well, this game isn't any fun anymore, I'll go play something else, it's not a big deal. So, because your costs are going to be directly proportional to the number of people actually using the game. If your user base goes down by half, your cost will go down by half as well. If your user base doubles, well, your cost will double, but presumably you have a way to actually derive revenue on a per user basis from these kinds of games. So your cost will be directly proportional to your actual user size. You don't have to invest up front just in case all these users show up. So there's kind of a neat kind of, I'd say, intersection of kind of the technology and the business here, where the technology gives you the flexibility to run your business in ways that you wouldn't have thought possible before. And these exponential growth stories are actually turning out to be more the rule than the exception in the social networking space. There's any number of companies that are going through these amazing growth spurts where they'll put something online, they'll wire it up to Facebook, let's say, and before you know it, it's just the 0 to 4 million, 0 to 10 million, 0 to 50 million. I'm aware of at least one that's in the somewhere between 50 and 75 million user social networking game that's running on our cloud. I was just in Japan a couple weeks ago, talked to a company that put an application online. In Japan, the big social network is called Mixi, M-I-X-I, and they went from 0 to just about 1 million inside of the first 2 weeks that they were in operation. And so they're running several hundred server instances behind that, with potential to grow a lot faster and a lot farther as they get to more experience with doing this. So what these game companies actually do is as you use the game, there's all these little features that kind of tend to message your network and kind of invite you into the game. They can actually fine-tune for growth by how aggressively they message your network. So when they say we grow 0 to 4 million, when they want to go, let's say, 4 to 8, they actually usually have some control knobs that they can adjust to decide just how fast it is that they would like to ramp up the size of the user base. Just kind of, at that point, you can actually have really good statistics on growth and how well each of your different marketing models will work to grow. Feel free to message me when I'm running out of time, by the way, because I can talk forever. I never know how long a presentation is going to take. This is a block diagram.